Hey there, HackerFrogs. It's me, the Shy Hat, and we're here today to do a live stream that's going to be covering a few different topics. All right, so let's take a look at what we're going to be doing today. So first of all, today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be covering the Advent of Cyber event from TryHackMe, and this is an event that goes on for 24 days from the 1st of December until the 24th of December. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be covering a few different days from the event because we just had our weekend. So we're going to be covering day 14, day 15, and day 16. So we're going to do day 14 and 15, and we're going to be doing day 16 um, a little bit later. But the first things we're going to be doing are day 14 and 15 from the event. Then we're going to break up the content a little bit by doing a challenge from the VulNyx website, and the VulNyx challenge we're going to be doing, well, the first challenge we're going to be doing is going to be a walkthrough, which means that we're going to be doing a guided demonstration about how to finish the Mux challenge on VulNyx. And then we're going to go back to TryHackMe, and we're going to do we're going to do the today's challenge, which is day number 16. And then after that, we're going to be moving on to our challenge. And for the challenge, which we call free hacking, we're going to be doing another machine from the VulNyx website, and that's going to be the admin machine. So the admin machine is a Windows machine, which we don't get to do very much hacking against because Windows machines, because of licensing issues, are a lot less common to see as cybersecurity exercises than Linux machines. So we're going to be doing that exercise at the end of today's stream. So before that, let's get started with our first activity. And before we do that, let's put on a little bit of music. And I think I've got some music ready to go. Let's see if it's playing right now. Okay, should be playing. Great. Okay, so let's get into the first Advent of Cyber challenge today. This is going to be day 14. All right, so like I said, this is a guided walkthrough for the Advent of Cyber event from tryhackme.com, and this is day number 14, otherwise known as task number 20. The topic of today's challenge is going to be certificate mismanagement, and the title of the challenge is "Even if we're horribly mismanaged, there'll be no sad faces on SOCMIS." Alright, so let's read about the story that goes along with today's challenge. "It's the mayor," said the glitch. He said it while sighing. "The people of Wareville, their browser, he's spying." "That sounds like him," McSkitty then said. "Back to work then," while scratching her head. Alright, so what are we going to be learning about today? It's a quiet morning in the town of Wareville, a wholesome town where cheer and tech come together. McSkitty is charged to protect the gift scheduler, the service elves use to schedule all the presents to be delivered in Wareville. She assigned Glitch to the case to make sure the site is secure for G-Day, otherwise known as Gift Day. In the meantime, Mayor Malware works tirelessly, hoping to not only ruin SOCMIS by redirecting presents to the wrong addresses, but to ensure that Glitch is blamed for the attack. After all, Glitch's warnings about the same vulnerabilities Mayor Malware is exploiting make the hacker an easy scapegoat. So what are today's learning objectives? In today's task, you will learn about self-signed certificates, man-in-the-middle attacks, and using Burp Suite proxy to intercept traffic. Certified to slay. We hear a lot about certificates and their uses, but let's start dissecting what a certificate is. Public key. At its core, a certificate contains a public key, part of a pair of cryptographic keys, a public key, and a private key. The public key is made available to anyone and is used to encrypt data. The private key. The private key remains secret and is used by the website or server to decrypt the data. Metadata. Along with the key, it includes metadata that provides additional information about the certificate holder, that is the website, and the certificate. You usually find information about the certificate authority, CA, subject, information about the website, for example, www.meow.thm, a uniquely identifiable number, valid period, signature, and hashing algorithm. Sign here, trust me. What is a certificate authority, CA? A CA is a trusted entity that issues certificates. For example, Global Sign, Let's Encrypt, and DigiCert are very common ones. The browser trusts these entities and performs a series of checks to ensure it is a trusted CA. Here's a breakdown of what happens with a certificate. Handshake. Your browser requests a secure connection and the website responds by sending a certificate, but in this case, it only requires the public key and metadata. Verification. Your browser checks the certificate for its validity by checking if it was issued by a trusted CA. If the certificate hasn't expired or been tampered with, the CA is trusted. Then the browser gives it the green light. There are different types of checks you want to do. Check them here. Key exchange. The browser uses the public key to encrypt the session data, which encrypts all communications between browser and the website. Decryption. The website, the server, uses its private key to decrypt the session key, which is symmetric. Now that both the browser and website share a secret key, the session key, we have established a secure and encrypted communication. Ever wonder what makes HTTPS to be S, which is secure? Thanks to certificates, we can now have authentication, encryption, and data integrity. Self-signed certificates versus trusted CA certificates. The process of acquiring a certificate with a CA is long. You create the certificate, you send it to a CA to sign it for you. If you don't have tools and automation in place, this process can take weeks. Self-signed certificates are signed by an entity, usually the same one that authenticates. For example, Wareville owns the gift scheduler site, and if they create a certificate and sign it with Wareville as a CA, that becomes a self-signed certificate. Browsers generally do not trust self-signed certificates because there are no third-party verification. The browser has no way of knowing if the certificate is authentic or if it's being used for malicious purposes, like a man-in-the-middle attack. Trusted CA certificates, on the other hand, are verified by a CA, which acts as a trusted third party to confirm the website's identity. CA-issued certificates sometimes take a long time. If you want to test a developing environment, it can make sense to use self-signed certificates. Ideally, this is an internal, air-gapped environment with no connection to the public internet. Otherwise, it defeats the purpose of a certificate. The entire system of secure communication relies on the fact that both parties, the browser and the server, can trust the data being exchanged, and that no one in the middle can intercept or modify it without detection. Connecting to the machine. So in order to do today's exercise, we need to do two things. So, do we need to start the attack box today? Yes. Do I need to start a VM today? Yes. To reproduce Mayor Malware's attack, click on the Start Machine button to deploy our own target VM that has the gift scheduler server running. So we need to click on this button right here to start the exercise. So first of all, click on this green Start Machine button. And then second of all, we need to start the attack box. And we can do that by going up to the top of the TryHackMe page over here, and we click on this button right over here that's labeled Start Attack Box. So just click on that button, and then you'll see your browser tab split into two panes with the TryHackMe website on the left-hand side and the attack box, which is initializing, on the right-hand side. So this is going to take a couple of minutes to initialize. So while this is loading up, we're going to go and take a look at what's happening in this task and just do a little bit of reading ahead of time. So let's take a look. So how Mayor Malware disrupts G-Day. There are less than 2 weeks until G-Day, and Mayor Malware has been planning its disruption ever since Glitch raised the self-signed certificate vulnerability to McSkitty during a security briefing the other day. His plan is near perfect. He will hack into the gift scheduler and mess with the delivery schedule. No one will receive the gift destined for them. G-Day will be ruined. Evil laugh. Ha ha ha. Okay, so preparation. First things first. The glitch spoke about a self-signed certificate, but Mayor Malware can't believe that the townsfolk, usually so security savvy, it's maddening to him, wouldn't easily disregard such a critical vulnerability. It is a trap set up by the glitch and McSkitty to catch him red-handed. He definitely needs to check for himself. Before that though, he wants to make sure that his tracks are well covered. To prevent any DNS logs from alerting his enemies, he will resolve the gift scheduler's FQDN locally on his machine. To achieve this, let's add the following line to the etc host file on the attack box. So it's going to be... the attack box is this right here, and what we want to do is we want to add this this IP address and domain pair to the etc host file on the attack box, but the attack box isn't finished loading. So it's going to be finished loading in just a few seconds, so we just need to wait a little bit. So effectively, this is the command we're going to be giving to add the IP address and the domain to our etc host file. So this is echo, and then the IP address, and then giftscheduler.thm, and we're going to redirect the output and append it to the etc host file. So let's do that in our attack box now. So first of all, in the attack box, we need to dismiss this terminal. So just click into it and then hit enter, and that's going to dismiss the terminal. Second thing we need to do is we need to start up a new terminal. So we can start up a terminal by clicking on this button over here, and that's going to bring up the terminal. Alright, so from here, let's make this a little bigger. Okay, and from here we can start issuing the commands. So I'm going to copy this command over here, and I don't think I can paste into here. Let me check. I cannot? Okay. So in order to paste the command, we need to use the control bar over here. So over here, click on the control bar, and then click on the clipboard over here. In the clipboard, you want to paste the command in, and then after that, you want to close the control bar by clicking on this button right here. Okay? After that, then we can click into the terminal, and then paste it in with Control-Shift-V. Femyak1 says, hello Femyak1, nice to see you here. And yeah, so we're just doing some more TryHackMe Advent of Cyber stuff. And let's give you a fun little video redeem. This is a new one that I added just today, and you might recognize this meme. Alright, so let's continue. So we're gonna issue the command from the terminal, and then after that, if we take a look at our etc host file, we see that the gift scheduler domain has been added to the host file. Okay. Alright, to verify the line was added to the file, we can execute the following. Okay, cat etc host, we just did that. Femyak1 says, that's fun. Yeah, I'm just trying to add some fun little pieces to the stream so that everybody can have a good time. Alright, so now that Mayor Malware can navigate to the gift scheduler website without leaving a trace on Wareville's DNS logs. So let's open a Firefox browser and navigate to this domain right here. We are presented with the following warning page. So this is what happens when we're trying to navigate to sites with self-signed certificates. Let's first of all, we need to open up our Firefox browser in the attack box. So we're going to click on this shortcut right here, and that's going to open up the Firefox browser. So after that's done, we need to click into, well, okay, let's see, start new session, restore session. We're going to choose start new session, and then we're going to click on the address bar, and we're going to type in https gift-scheduler.thm. Okay, and then after that, hit enter. It says warning, potential security risk ahead. Okay, so it says here that there is a potential security threat. This is what happens when you use self-signed certificates and you try to access them using a web browser. So what we need to do is we need to click on the advanced button over here, and then after that scroll down, and then we need to click on the accept risk and continue. So it says the certificate is not trusted because it is self-signed, which means it's not being issued by a trusted CA, certificate authority. So click on accept risk and continue, and then we're able to access the site. Okay, so it says welcome to the gift scheduler. This is the website that manages all the gift giving in the town here. Okay, Mayor Malware can't believe his luck. This is evidence that Glitch was speaking the truth. The disk scheduler web server uses a self-signed certificate. This means that the townsfolk and all the elves will be used to clicking on the accept risk and continue button, marked with number 2 on the screenshot, okay, and to the point where it becomes a habit. So Mayor Malware just does just that and inserts his credentials into the login form. So over here, we've got a pair of credentials that we want to use to log into the application. Mayor Malware and Garbage Day. So we're going to click on the Start button over here on the attack box web browser. And then we're going to log in using these credentials here. So this is going to be Mayor_Malware and G4RBAG3DAY. Okay, then click on Login. So we're not going to save the password. Okay, we're in now. So with his credentials, he can't do anything but send a gift request, as if he were ever to do such a sickeningly sweet gesture. To carry out his evil plan, he will need to sniff some admin credentials, maybe even some of the elves' passwords, or even, if he gets lucky, Marta Mayware's account. So to sniff the elves' traffic, the next step will be to start a proxy on his machine and route all of Wareville's traffic to it. This way, the mayor will be in the middle, between the townspeople and the gift scheduler. This position allows him to sniff all requests forwarded to the sickening website. So let's start the burp suite proxy by typing burp in the terminal. A new window will open. We can accept the default configurations. Okay, so let's demonstrate this. So first of all, we can minimize our Firefox browser window and minimize the terminal. And we're actually going to use this shortcut right here, Burp Suite Community Edition. So we can just click on this one. It's a big blue icon, and that's going to start up Burp Suite. So the Burp Suite is going to take a few moments to start up. And we're going to see this screen right here. So we need to click on the Next button over here. And then we need to click on the Start Burp button. And then Burp Suite will fully start up. So as instructed, once Burp loads, we will select the Proxy button over here. And then we'll toggle off the Intercept On button. And then we're going to open up the Proxy Settings tab. Okay, so how do we do that? So we're going to go over to Proxy over here. So this is the Proxy button here. After that, we're going to click on the blue Intercept On button because we don't want that. And then Intercept is switched off. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to the Proxy Settings button over here, and we're going to click on it. So after that, there's the Proxy tab here. It says Proxy Listeners. What we want to do is we want to add a proxy listener to our Burp Suite. So we're going to click on the Add button over here. And then after that, we're going to move down, and what do they want us to do? We must set the listening port to 8080. Okay, so over here it says bind to port. So we switch this to 8080 and then toggle the specific addresses option. So specific addresses is down over here. And let's see. So we need to specify the IP of our attack box, which is this. So it's already been filled in, so we just need to click on OK. So the OK button is down here, click on it. OK. And now our proxy is connected to our attack box on port 8080. So Mayor Malware rubs his hands gleefully as we can read in the yellow box in the screenshot above. Burp Suite already comes with a self-signed certificate. The users will be prompted to accept it and continue, and Mayor Malware knows that they will do it out of habit, without even thinking of verifying the certificate origin first. The G-Day disruption operation will go off without a hitch. Sniff from the middle. Now that our machine is ready to listen, we must reroute all of Wareville's traffic to our machine. Mayor Malware has a wonderful idea to achieve this. He will set his own machine as a gateway for all of the other Wareville's machines. So let's add another line to the attack box's etc host file. Note that this address in the snippet should reflect the IP of our attack box, which can be found at the top of the page. So if you're using TryHackMe, this should be automatically set. So all you need to do is copy the command right over here. So just copy this command over here, which is going to add our attack box IP address, and we're going to assign it as Wareville-GW over here. Okay, so just copy that, and then go over to the control bar over here. So in the control bar, click on the clipboard, and in the clipboard, select whatever's there, highlight it, and delete it, and then paste in the command. Okay, after you've done that, close out the clipboard, and then go over and minimize Burp Suite, and then open up the terminal again with this icon right over here. And in the terminal, paste in your command, Control-Shift-V, and then hit Enter. Okay, so just to make sure that this went through, we're going to take a look at the etc host file with this command right here, cat/etc/host. Okay, so we've added both of these addresses over here. Now we're ready to go. This will divert all of Wareville's traffic, usually routed through the legitimate Wareville gateway, to Mayor Malware's machine, effectively putting him in the middle of the requests. Note, in practice, the adversary can launch a similar attack if they control the user's gateway, and their attack can easily succeed against websites not using properly signed certificates. This attack requires more than adding an entry into the etc host file. However, this task is to aim to emulate parts of the attack. As a last step, we must start a custom script to simulate the user's request to the gift scheduler. Keep in mind, keep the script running so that new user requests will constantly be captured in Burp Suite. Okay, so we need to first move over to this room this directory over here. So let's do that. So in the terminal, we're going to do cd:/rooms/AOC2024/day14. Okay. And we see in here there's this script called root-elf-traffic.sh. So we need to run the script, and we're going to do that with this command right here, /root-elf-traffic.sh. Go ahead and give that command, and then the script is going to run automatically, and we can just leave it on and go and do something else. Pwn the scheduler. At last, everything is in place. Mayor Malware's evil plan can finally commence. Evil laugh. We can return to the Open Burp Suite window and click on the HTTP History tab. Alright, so we're going to minimize this terminal window, then go back to Burp Suite. In Burp Suite, we're going to go over to the Proxy and then HTTP History tab. And then we're going to see these Get and Post requests appear. So this is the traffic that's being sent by the Wareville citizens. And what we need to do is we need to get information from them. There's a triumphant gleam in Mayor Malware's eyes when he stares intently at the web requests pouring on his screen. He can finally see them, the post requests containing clear text credentials for the gift scheduler website. Now he only needs to wait and find the password to a privileged account. Okay, so we need to answer the questions below to finish the exercise. What is the name of the CA that has signed the gift scheduler certificate? So how do we answer this question? So first of all, we can minimize our burp suite, and the settings window we can close. So we can go back to our Firefox web browser, and in the Firefox web browser, we're logged into giftscheduler.thm. What we need to do is we need to click on this button over here that looks like a lock with a caution sign on it. Go ahead and click on that, and then it says connection not secure. Click on that, and then we have to click on the more information button over here. So after that, we can see who verified this certificate. It says verified by THM. So that's the answer for the first question. So over here in the answer field, type in THM and click on submit. And that's the answer for the first question. For the second question, it says, look inside the post request in the HTTP history. What is the password for the Snowball Elf account? Okay, so what we need to do here is, so first of all, we can close this window, and then we can minimize the Firefox browser. We can go back to Burp Suite, and then we're in the proxy HTTP history window. So over here, we're going to click into the request here, and let me see if I can. So what we're looking for is we're looking for post requests. So we can actually click on this method button over here, this method column, and we can look only at the post requests over here. So inside the post requests, they've got different usernames and passwords that are being posted to the website. So we can just use our arrow keys to go down, and we're going to keep on going down until we found the Snowball Elf username. And there's this password right here, #knows. All right, so we can copy this, and then we can go over to the control panel. In the control panel, we're going to copy this, and then we're going to close the control panel. Then we can paste into the TryHackMe page here, and then click on submit. Okay, and that answer is correct. So we've got some ads running on Twitch right now. So I don't want the people on Twitch to be left out while we're doing stuff while the ads are running for them. So I'm going to run a little bird video so we can all watch the birds do their thing. So this is a video of my bird feeder over here. We're just going to play this video and watch the birds eat until the ads are over. It should be in about 50 seconds or so. So in the meantime, I'm going to take a little sip of water. So just a second. So if anybody's wondering, these are stellar jays. These are the blue jays of the Pacific Northwest, and they come around every day to the bird feeder over here, and they feast on peanuts and other seeds. And they're my favorite bird. Anyways, the ads are just about to end, so I'll just close this out. All right, so let's continue with our questions over here. So the next question says, use the credentials for any of the elves to authenticate to the gift scheduler website. What is the flag shown on the elves scheduling page? So what we can do now is we can minimize Burp Suite, and then we can go over to the Firefox web browser and then log out of the application. So click on log out, and then we're going to log in as the Snowball Elf. So the username is Snowball Elf, and the password is what we just copied from the request, which is the #knows password. After we do that, we're going to click on login. Okay, and then we get a flag over here. The flag is this over here, so we just need to highlight it. and then copy it, and then go over to the control panel. In the control panel, highlight and copy. Then go over to TryHackMe and paste in the flag, and then click on Submit. Okay, and then the next question is, what is the password for Marta May Ware's account? So, like the previous question, we need to go back to Burp Suite. So we're going to minimize the Firefox window, then go over to Burp Suite. In Burp Suite, we're going to go down to the post requests here. So the first post request is over here, and we're just going to use the arrow keys to go down the requests until we find the username Marta May Ware. So down. Okay, so for us it was the second request. It might be a different request for you all. You just need to navigate down these requests, these post requests, until you can see the Marta May Ware user. So over here, Marta_Mayware, and the password is HollyJollySockmiss. Just copy that password, and then go over to the clipboard. In the clipboard, copy it, and then paste it into the TryHackMe page and submit. Okay, so the next question says, Mayor Malware finally succeeded in his evil intent. With Marta May Ware's username and password, he can finally access the administrative console for the gift scheduler. G-Day is cancelled. What is the flag shown on the admin page? Okay, so for this question, we just need to minimize Burp Suite, then go over to our web browser, Firefox. In Firefox, we need to log out. So we need to scroll up and click on Log Out over here. And then after that, we're going to log in as the user Marta_Mayware. And then as a password, we're going to paste in the password and then click on Login. Okay. And then when we scroll down, we see this flag over here. We can copy it. And then in the clipboard, copy it again, close the clipboard, and then paste in the password and click on Submit. Okay. So it says, if you enjoyed this task, check out the Burp Suite module. Actually, before we do that, there's one more thing. So on this page, when you're logged in as Marta May Ware, you can click on this button over here that says Cancel G-Day. So what happens if you do that? So let's click on it. And it says, you fell for it. It was a trap. So it looks like that's part of the next storyline. So let's finish off today's room. It says, if you enjoyed this task, feel free to check out the Burp Suite module. And then we just need to click on the complete button over here. And then we're finished with today's task. All right, everybody, that was a guided walkthrough for day 14 of TryHackMe's Advent of Cyber 2024 event. If you enjoyed this guided walkthrough, please click on the like and subscribe buttons on the video, and we will see you next time. But we're not finished. We're not finished. Well, we're finished with this day. We're going to be doing the next day's activity immediately after this. So I think we don't need to use the attack box for the next day, but let me check. Okay, so we're just gonna... First of all, what we need to do is we need to stop the machine that is running this day 14 machine. So we just click on terminate there, and that should be good. After that, we can scroll down to the bottom. We're just gonna wait for everything to catch up. It looks like it's a bit laggy. Okay, so task number 21 is day 15. Let's click on this. And do we need to start a VM today? Yes. Is there a split screen available? Yes. Okay, so it looks like we don't need to use the attack box for this task. So we're going to close out the attack box by clicking on this button, which is called Terminate Machine. Okay, terminate the machine. Okay. Alright, so the next thing we need to do is... This is day number 15. Great. Alright, so let's do day number 15 now. Everybody, this is a guided walkthrough for day number 15 from the TryHackMe Advent of Cyber 2024 event. The topic for today's task is Active Directory, and the title of it is Be It Ever So Heinous, There's No Place Like Domain Controller. Alright, so we're talking about Active Directory today, and let's take a look at what's going on in the story. Ahead of SOCMIS, the team decided to do a routine security check of one of their Active Directory domain controllers. Upon some quick auditing, the team noticed something was off. Could it be? The domain controller has been breached? With sweat on their brows, the SOC team smashed the glass and hit the panic alarm. There's only one person who can save us. So what are our learning objectives for this task? We're going to learn about the structures of Active Directory. We're going to learn about common Active Directory attacks, and we're going to investigate a breach against an Active Directory. So, connecting to the machine. Before moving forward, review the questions in the connection card shown below. Do I need to start a VM today? Yes. Is there a split screen available? Yes. Am I given credentials to connect directly to the VM via RDP, VNC, or SSH? Yes. So what we need to do is we need to click on the green Start Machine button over here, and then we need to wait for the machine to load. Okay, so it says your machine is started. So it's going to take about 3 minutes for the attack box to finish, for this machine to finish initializing. It's not necessarily an attack box. Anyways, let's scroll back down and figure out what's going on in today's storyline. So, introducing Active Directory. Before diving into Active Directory, let us understand how network infrastructures can be mapped out and ensure that access to resources is well managed. This is typically done through directory services, which map and provide access to network resources within an organization. The Lightweight Directory Access Protocol, LDAP, forms one of the core directory services. It provides a mechanism for accessing and managing directory data to ensure that searching for and retrieving information and subjects and objects such as users, computers, and groups is quick. Active Directory, otherwise known as AD, is, therefore, a directory service at the heart of most enterprise networks that stores information about objects in a network. The associated objects can include users, individual accounts representing people or services, groups, collections of users or other objects, often with specific permissions, computers, machines that belong to a domain governed by AD policies, and printers and other resources, which are network accessible devices or services. The building blocks of an AD architecture include domains, logical groupings of network resources such as users, computers, and services. They serve as the main boundary for AD administration and can be identified by their domain component and domain controller name. Everything inside a domain is subject to the same security policies and permissions. Organizational units, otherwise known as OUs. OUs are containers within a domain that help group objects based on departments, locations, or functions for easier management. Administrators can apply group policies settings to specific OUs, allowing for more granular control of security settings or access permissions. Forests. A collection of one or more domains that share a standard schema, configuration, and global catalog. The forest is a top-level container in AD. Trust relationships. Domains within a forest and across forests can establish trust relationships that allow users in one domain to access resources in another, subject to permission. Combining all these components allows us to search for the distinguished name, DN, that an object belongs to within the AD. The structure of the name would be as follows: DN, CN, Mayor Malware, OU management, DC malware, DC Wareville, DC THM. So we've got two domain controllers here. So there's one named Wareville and THM. There's one organizational unit that is management. And there was one computer name / distinguished name, which is called Mayor Malware. So let's talk about core Active Directory components. Active Directory contains several key components that allow it to provide a wide range of services. Understanding these components will give a clear picture of how AD supports administrative and security operations. Domain controllers. Domain controllers are servers that host Active Directory services. They store the AD database and handle authentication and authorization requests, such as logging in users or verifying access to resources. Multiple DCs can exist within a domain for redundancy. When changes are made to AD, such as adding users or updating passwords, these changes are replicated across all DCs, ensuring that the directory remains consistent. Global Catalog. The Global Catalog, GC, is a searchable database within AD that contains a subset of information for all objects in the directory. This allows users and services to locate objects in any domain in the forest, even if those objects reside in different domains. LDAP, Lightweight Directory Access Protocol. AD uses this protocol to query and modify the directory. The protocol allows for fast searching and retrieving of information about objects such as users, computers, and groups. Kerberos Authentication. The default authentication protocol used by AD provides secure authentication by using tickets rather than passwords. Group Policy. One of Active Directory's most powerful features is Group Policy, which allows administrators to enforce policies across the domain. Group policies can be applied to users and computers to enforce password policies, software deployment, firewall settings, and more. Group Policy Objects, otherwise known as GPOs, are the containers that hold these policies. A GPO can be linked to the entire domain, an OU, or a site, giving the flexibility in applying policies. Let us say that McSkitty wants to ensure that all users within Wareville's SOC follow a strict password policy, enforcing minimum password lengths and complexity rules. Here's how it would be done. In the Run window, open Group Policy Management from the server by typing in gpmc.msc. Okay, so we're going to demonstrate this. So inside of our Windows machine here, we're going to click on the magnifying glass, and we're going to type Run in the search window. So after we do that, we're going to see this desktop app called Run. We need to click on that, and then we need to type in gpmc.msc. gpmc.msc, and then click on OK. Okay, after that, right-click your domain and select Create a GPO in this domain and link it here. Name the new policy Password Policy. Okay, so we need to right-click on our domain. So our domain is right over here. It's called wareville.thm. So we need to right-click on this and then select this option here, Create a GPO in this domain and link it here. Click on that. We need to name the new GPO. We're going to name it Password Policy as we were instructed. Password Policy, and then click on OK. Edit the GPO by navigating to Computer Configuration, Policies, Windows Settings, Security Settings, Account Policies, Password Policy. Okay, so we're going to go over to Computer Configuration, which is Computer Configuration. Okay, so edit the GPO by navigating to computer configuration policies. Domains, whereville. Computer configuration. Let me search for this. There's got to be something I'm missing here. Domains, whereville, computer for computer. Let me just look this up real quick. So I'm just gonna search this up using ChatGPT. Just a second. In group policy management. Cybernerd Dante says, hello, happy hacking and merry holidays. Thank you very much. Hey, we've got a new redeem that we just created over here. It's NyanCat. Okay, so according to ChatGPT, we need to locate the group policy object GPO, group policy management. Group policy management, okay, so we're here. Expand the forest and domains, okay, we've expanded those. Navigate to the group policy objects container, which is here, okay. Select a GPO or create a new one. Edit the GPO. Ah, okay. So we just need to go over here. Okay, so here, what do we need to do next? Policies, window settings, security settings. Password policy, window settings. Password policy, okay. Configure the following settings. Minimum password length 12 characters, okay. Oh wait, I think we need to click on this one instead. Password policy. Okay, so let's see. So, okay, from here, we do computer configuration, policies, window settings, security settings, and then account policies. Account policies, then password policy. Okay, so click on password policy from here, and then we need to configure minimum password length 12 characters. Okay, so minimum password length, this one, we're just going to double click this, and we're going to click on define this policy setting, set the number of characters to 12 characters, click on Apply, and then click on OK. After that, enforce password history 10 passwords. So over here, enforce password history, double click that. Click on Define and select 10, and then click on Apply, and then OK. Next, we need to set the maximum password age, which is 90 days. Maximum password age, double click that, define, and then set it for 90 days, and then click Apply. Because of the value of minimum password is... Oh, this is minimum, sorry. Okay, I just need to set this to 0. I mistook minimum and maximum. Anyways, cancel out of this. I need maximum password age. Click on that, define. So we need to define this as 90 days. And then click on Apply. And then click OK. OK. And then password must meet complexity requirements enabled. So that is down here. So double click that. Click on Define and then select Enabled. Click Apply. And then click OK. Alright. So click OK and link this GPO to the domain or specific OUs you want to target. So let's see. So from here, this policy will now be applied across the domain, ensuring all users meet these password requirements. Okay. So common Active Directory attacks. Let's talk about these. Adversaries are always looking for ways to breach and exploit Active Directory environments to destabilize and cause havoc to organizations. Working with Glitch to secure SOCMIS requires us to know common attacks and their mitigation measures. The Golden Ticket Attack. A golden ticket allows attackers to exploit the Kerberos protocol and impersonate any account on the AD by forging a ticket-granting ticket, otherwise known as TGT. By compromising the KRBTGT account and using its password hash, the attackers can gain complete control over the domain for as long as the forged ticket remains valid. This attack requires 4 critical pieces of information to be successful. The fully qualified domain name of the domain, or otherwise known as the FQDN, the SID of the domain, the username of the account to impersonate, and the KRBTGT account password hash. Detection for this type of attack involves monitoring for unusual activity involving the KRBTGT. Event ID 4768. Look for TGT requests for high privilege accounts. And Event ID 4672. This logs when special privileges such as SCTCB privilege are assigned to a user. The Pass the Hash attack. This type of attack steals the hash of a password and can be used to authenticate to services without needing the actual password. This is possible because the NTLM protocol allows authentication based on password hashes. Key ways to mitigate this attack are enforcing strong password policies, conducting regular audits on account privileges, and implementing multi-factor authentication across the domain. Kerberosing. Kerberosing is an attack that targets Kerberos, in which the attacker requests service tickets for accounts with service principal names, SPNs, and extracts the ticket and password hashes, and then attempts to crack them offline to retrieve the plaintext password. Mitigation for this type of attack involves ensuring that the service accounts are secured with strong passwords, and therefore implementing secure policies across the AD would be the defense. Pass the ticket. In a Pass the Ticket attack, attackers steal Kerberos tickets from a compromised machine and use them to authenticate as the user or service those tickets whose ticket was stolen. This attack can be detected through monitoring for suspicious logins using event ID 4768 TGT request. especially if a user is logging in from an unusual locations or devices. Additionally, event ID 4624 successful login will reveal tickets being used for authentication. Malicious GPOs. Adversaries are known to abuse group policy to create persistent privileged access accounts and distribute and execute malware by setting up policies that mimic software development across entire domains. With escalated privileges across the domain, attackers can create GPOs to accomplish goals at scale, including disabling core security features, disabling core security software and features such as firewalls, antivirus, security updates, and logging. Additionally, scheduled tasks can be created to execute malicious scripts or exfiltration data from affected devices across the domain. To mitigate against the exploitation of group policy, GPOs need to be regularly audited for unauthorized changes. Strict permissions and procedures for GPO modifications should also be enforced. Skeleton key attack. In a skeleton key attack, attackers install a malware backdoor to log into any account using a master password. The legitimate password for each account would remain unchanged, but attackers could bypass it using the skeleton key password. Investigating an Active Directory breach. Okay, so we've got some ads coming up, and we're just going to wait for the ads to pass before we continue on with the next section. So lucky for everybody, we've got more bird videos to watch. So this is a really busy day, and we've got all these birds over here trying to get their lunch. I'll take this opportunity to have a little sip of water. Just a second. So you'll notice that that the Stellar J over here, he's gonna shake the peanuts to figure out if he wants the nut or if he doesn't want the nut. So you see him just shaking the nut over here, and then he grabs the peanut, and then he shakes another nut, and then he flies off. So as soon as the Stellar J leaves, the sparrows come back in. But when the Stellar J comes back, then they all flee again. So we've got another minute of ads. So if anybody has any questions right now, feel free to ask. If you have any questions about what we're doing in today's task, or about any other questions about cybersecurity or anything else. If you have any questions about bird feeders or birds, that's also quite welcome as well. Okay, so the ads are going to be ending in just a few seconds. Let's put the birds away. Okay, so let's continue then. Group policy. As previously discussed in this task, group policy is a means to distribute configurations and policies to enrolled devices in the domain. For attackers, group policy is a lucrative means of spreading malicious scripts to multiple devices. Reviewing group policy objects, GPOs, is a great investigation step. In this section, we will use PowerShell to audit our GPOs. First, we will use the getGPO commandlet to list all GPOs installed on the domain controller. Okay, so we're going to be minimizing the group policy management editor over here. So we're just going to minimize this, and then we're going to start up PowerShell. So we can start up PowerShell by clicking on the magnifying glass here. And in the magnifying glass, we're going to type in PowerShell. Okay, Windows PowerShell, we can just click on this to start up the app. And this is a little bit small, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the properties over here to make the font nice and big so we can read it. I'm just going to change this to 24-point font. Click on OK. Okay, so now we can see the PowerShell terminal. It's very big now. So we're going to use this command, get -gpo -all. Okay, so we've got all of the different GPOs that are applied over here. So display name is the name of the policy. Default domain controller policy. We've got password policy over here. And then we've got this one called malicious GPO glitch malware persistence. So that seems a little bit suspicious. So we're going to be talking about that in just a little bit. So this would allow us to look for out-of-place GPOs. We can export a GPO to an HTML file for further investigation to make it easier to see what configurations the policy enforces. For this example, we will export the set wallpaper GPO. Please note that this is a demonstration GPO and this isn't present in the practical machine for today's task. Okay, so it's get GPO report -name and then report type HTML path this. Okay, so we're just going to skip past this part because it's not important for what we're doing in today's task. Then, when opening the HTML file in the browser, we are presented with an overview of things such as when the policy was created and modified, what devices or other users the GPO applies to, the permissions of the GPO, and the user or computer configurations that it enforces. So over here, this is what it would look like when we open this up in a browser. So I don't think I can make this too much bigger. Okay, I can make it a little bit bigger. But this is still kind of difficult to read on the screen. Okay, so we're going to close this out. From the screenshot above, we can see that the policy sets the desktop wallpaper of the devices using the image located over here. Domains are naturally likely to have many GPOs. We can use the same get GPO commandlet with a bit of PowerShell foo to list out only those GPOs that were recently modified. This is a handy snippet because it highlights policies that were recently modified, perhaps by an attacker. Okay, so over here, we've got our command. We can copy this command, and hopefully we can copy it over to the machine. If not, that's going to be a big pain in the butt. So in the PowerShell, we're going to try to paste it in. Oh, that's no good. Okay, looks like we're going to have to manually type this all in. So get GPO-all, pipe it into where object between curly braces underscore dot modification time, and then pipe that into select object display name colon modification time. And I need to make sure that there are no typos in this command. Okay, and then after that we need to hit enter. Okay, that worked. So we got a few different GPOs, default domain policy, controllers, password policy, malicious GPO. Okay, that worked. So Event Viewer. Windows comes packaged with the Event Viewer. This invaluable repository stores a record of system activity, including security events, service behaviors, and so on. For example, within the Security tab of the Event Viewer, we can see a history of user logins, attempts, and logoffs. This screenshot below shows a record of user CMnatic attempting to log into the device. Okay. So over here, this is an example of the Event Viewer, and we're looking at security events, and we can see here there's a bunch of different information over here. and then details of the event over in this section over here. Okay, we're just going to close this out. We're probably going to have to use the event viewer for a couple of the questions in today's task. So all categories of events are given an event ID. The table below provides notable event IDs for today's task. We've got 4624, and a user account is logged on. 4625, a user account failed to log on. 4672, which is special privileges being assigned to a user, and 4768, a TGT, Kerberos ticket, was requested for a highly privileged account. Next, we'll talk about account auditing. User accounts are a valuable and often successful method of attack. You can use event viewer IDs to review user events and PowerShell to audit their status. Attack methods such as password spraying will eventually result in user accounts being locked out, depending on the domain controller's lockout policy. To review all locked accounts, you can use the search AD account commandlet, applying some filters to show information, such as the last time the user has successfully logged in. So we've got this one over here, search AD account, locked out, select object, okay, so all this stuff over here. Additionally, a great way to quickly review a user account present on the domain, as well as the group membership, is by using the getAdUser commandlet demonstrated below. Okay, so because we can't paste into the PowerShell window over here, we're gonna skip this because this is a lot of manual typing. But we're going to move on to the next section. Reviewing PowerShell history and logs. PowerShell, like Bash on Linux, keeps a history of the commands inputted into the session. Reviewing these can be a fantastic way to see recent actions taken by the user account on the machine. On a Windows server, this history file is located at AppData, Microsoft, Windows, PowerShell, PS readline, console host history.txt. You can use the inbuilt notepad on Windows or your favorite text editor to review the PowerShell command history. Okay, so we've opened this up in the screenshot here, and it looks like there's a bunch of different PowerShell commands that have been logged in the history over here. Additionally, logs recorded for every PowerShell process executed on the system. These logs are located within the event viewer under Application and Service Logs, Microsoft, Windows, PowerShell, Operational, or also under Application and Service Logs, Windows, PowerShell. The logs have a wealth of information useful for incident response. So over here inside the event viewer, we can also tunnel down by going to these specific sections over here to get all of the history for all of the PowerShell commands that have been executed on the system. Okay, we've come to the practical section now. Your task for today is to investigate Wareville's SOCMIS Active Directory controller for the suspected breach. Answer the questions below to confirm the details of the breach. Answer the questions below. Use the Security tab within the Event Viewer to answer questions 1 and 2. Okay, so this means we need to go over to the Windows machine and then click on the magnifying glass. And in the magnifying glass, we want to search for something called Event Viewer. And then click on Event Viewer over here. Okay, so after we've done that, we have to use the Security tab. So in the Event Viewer here, we're looking for the Security tab. We're looking for Windows logs, I think. And we're looking for Security over here. Okay, so we've got a lot of different events. We've got 14,000 of them, so we need to do some filtering in order to find what we want to find. On which day was glitch malware last logged in? Okay, so for this section over here, what we need to do is we need to look for the login event. So the login event is, we're going to go over and click on Filter Current Logs, so this button over here on the right-hand side. And here we're going to search for specific event IDs. So we're going to click into this window, and then we're going to select the number 4624, which is the login event ID. We're going to click OK. And now we only have 4,600 events. What we're going to do in here is we're going to scan for a specific user. So we're going to click on this Find button over here on the right hand side, and we're going to select glitch underscore malware, and then we're going to click on Find Next. Okay, this seems a bit slow. Wait, let me... Find next. Where does it say glitch malware? Okay, I'm gonna get out of here. Okay, security ID glitch malware, great. And it looks like we've got a date over here as well. So it's 11/7, so I think that's November 7th, 2024. That's the answer. Okay, so it's going to be 07/11/2024, and then click on Submit. Okay, so that answer was correct. This first one, we just need to click on it, and then this answer is correct. The next question is, what event ID shows the login of the glitch malware user? So we filtered for event 4624, so that's the answer here. 4624, click on Submit. Okay, so the next question says, read the PowerShell history of the administrator account. What is the command that was used to enumerate Active Directory users? So we can access the PowerShell history by going over to the specific file. So we're going to close out. Actually, we're not going to close out. We're going to minimize the event viewer. And then inside of PowerShell, we can go over to this directory over here. And inside the PowerShell account, we're just going to get content. And we're going to look inside a specific directory. The directory is going to be C users administrator app data, app data, and then roaming, and then Microsoft, and then Windows, and then PowerShell, and then PS read line, and then console host underscore history.txt. Okay, so when we read this file, we're going to be able to see all of the PowerShell commands for the administrator user. Okay, so we see a bunch of different commands: who am I, if config, ping, something something. What was the command that was used to enumerate the Active Directory users? That is this one right here. It is get 80 user filter properties member of select object name. So we just need to select this command right here and copy it. I think we can copy from the Windows machine to the website. So I'm just going to copy this, and then I'm going to paste in here. Okay, so it looks like this works. So after that, click on Submit, and that's the correct answer. Look in the PowerShell log file located in Applications and Services Logs, Windows PowerShell. What was glitch malware's set password? Okay, so what we need to do is we need to go back to the event viewer. So over here, where is the event viewer? Here it is. Okay, so inside of Event Viewer, we want to go over to Applications and Services Logs. So that's over here. And then we want to go to Windows PowerShell. So over here, click on Windows PowerShell. Okay. And what we need to do is so there's a bunch of different events over here. There's 414. What we want to do is we want to click on the Find button on the right-hand side here. And we're going to look for the word password. And then click on Find Next. Okay. So we're going to look at the details over here by clicking on Details. Over here for the Find window, we're going to X out of it. We're going to click on Details. No, maybe we're going to go over to General. And we're going to look for the specific command. So the specific command is over here. I might be looking at the wrong log. Let me look for it again. Hold on. So click Find, click Password, Find Next. Looks like there's only one. Wait, no, there's more than one. Ah, okay. Okay, here we go. So there's a couple of these, but one of these has this information here. So over here, we've got. Can I scroll in here? I don't think I can. Switch to XML view. Okay, so AD user is glitch malware, and we've got a password. So the password is this one right here. So the password is super secret password over here. Okay, so we can just copy that and then go over to the TryHackMe page and paste it in. Make sure that it doesn't have any quotes. Click on Submit. And that's done. All right. So it says here, review the group policy objects present on the machine. What is the name of the installed GPO? So this is the malicious GPO that we were talking about earlier. So we're just going to go back to our PowerShell. In our PowerShell, we can go back to the get GPO with the modification time. This command right here, get GPO all, where object is select object display name modification time. Give this command, and if you don't know, you can use the up and down arrow keys to select between different commands that you've already given. So we're just going to use this command, hit enter, and we're looking for this one, malicious GPO glitch malware persistence. So we can copy this name over here, and then in TryHackMe here, we can paste in the name of this and click on Submit. All right, so we've effectively finished today's task. Great. So the last question here is, if you enjoyed this task, feel free to check out the Active Directory hardening room, and we just need to click on Complete, and then you'll see the color of the task over here turn green, which means we are finished. All right, so thank you very much for watching this guided walkthrough of the Advent of Cyber, day number 15 on TryHackMe.com, and we'll see you next time. Okay, so that's 2 activities done for today. We're going to be moving on into a different activity now. So we're just going to close out this this window over here, terminate the machine, because we're done with it. We're going to be revisiting Advent of Cyber 2024 after we do our little walkthrough for another machine, And that machine is going to be the VulNyx machine over here called Mux. So this one over here, if you're interested in taking a look at this machine yourself, then you can access it from this URL right here. But let's get started on that. So these VulNyx machines are all machines where you have to download a virtual machine and deploy it on your own network. So they're great little exercises for learning about specific aspects of network hacking. So we got the machine starting up over here, and I just need to wait for it to start up so I can get the IP address for the system. So the good thing about these VulNyx machines is that they actually have the IP address of the machine displayed on the machine itself over here, so we don't have to go and hunt for it in our network after it deploys. So we see the IP address is 10.0.2.79, and that's the IP address we're going to be hacking against. Okay, so alright, let us get started. So before that, let me move into the temporary directory. We do this because we don't want to pollute the rest of our file system with whatever files we're going to be downloading while we do this task. Okay, and let's get started. This is a guided walkthrough video for the Mux machine on the VulNyx website, and let's begin. So the first thing we like to do when we do one of these CTF box machines is we like to run an nmap scan to see what services are available on this particular server. So the nmap program is going to scan the IP address that is listed over here, and it's going to report all of the available ports, networking ports, that are open on the machine. So we're going to run it very verbose with the -V flag over here, which is going to give us output before the scan is finished. So it helps us speed up our enumeration process. We're going to run it with -T4 over here so that it runs very fast but not too fast with 4 threads. We're going to scan all the ports on the system with this portion over here, -P-, and we're going to scan and run common scripts against whatever services we find with this flag over here, -SC, and get versioning information with this flag over here, -SV. So without further ado, let's run the scan. So we see some unusual ports show up immediately over here. We've got port 80, which is pretty standard, but we also see port 514, 512, and 513, which are very unusual ports on servers, to say the least. Okay, but what is actually on these ports? Let's see what nmap has for us over here. So we've got port 80. This is running an HTTP service, which is a web page. It is running Apache software, version 2.4.56. The HTTP title for the page is Mona Lisa, and we also see on port 512, it is running this exec service over here. So this is a highly unusual service, and we're going to be talking a little bit more about this in just a sec. Okay, we also have 513, which is login, and 514, which is TCP wrapped. Okay, so I think these ports over here are running as a unit, but let me take a look at my notes. So the first thing we want to do is we want to go over to the web page that's associated with this machine. So we're going to go to our Firefox browser, and in the Firefox browser we're going to navigate to the IP address with HTTP. And we're going to see this picture of the Mona Lisa here. So anytime you see a suspicious image on one of these CTF boxes, you probably want to download it and do some enumeration of the image. So we're going to copy the image link, and then we're going to go back to our terminal, and in the terminal we're going to download the image by using the wget command. So it's wget and then paste in the image address over here. After that, hit enter. That's going to download the image to our current directory. So we see the image, which is image.jpg, and we're going to use the EXIF tool to take a look at any metadata associated with this image. So this is going to show us all of the metadata associated with the image over here, and we see here in the comment there are some credentials. The credentials are for the Lisa user, and there's a password associated with it called MySecureRSH PAS. So what is this? Let's talk about the RSH service first of all. So the RSH service is the service that was running on port 512, I think it was. But what is this service? This is the RExec service, or the RSH service. RExec is a legacy service on Unix/Linux systems, which allows users to execute commands remotely. RExec is very rarely present on modern networking environments due to numerous security weaknesses, such as a lack of so not the least of which are things like a lack of encryption. So basically, if somebody is able to monitor the network traffic that is going between the client of the RExec service and the server that is running the RExec service, then you're probably going to be able to see all the commands that are being run in clear text, which is very, very bad. But anyways, we've got some ads coming up on Twitch, so I guess what we're going to do is we're going to wait a little bit before continuing. Let's I think I've got some videos of the Stellar Jays taking a bath over here. So if you're here solely for the Stellar Jays, please let us know in the chat. GX000 says has redeemed the Stellar J. Thank you very much. And GX000, I actually have a new redeem, and I don't know if I should let you know about this, but this is for the Nyan Cat. So I think it's on a 5-minute cooldown, so you won't be able to use it right away. Yeah, I'm in trouble now. I guess I shouldn't have told the wrong people here. But yeah, we've got our little Stellar J. I think this is a hatchling, born this year, and he's just having a little bath. We're just waiting for the ads to end. They should end in about 40 seconds or so. I made a mistake by enabling this this redeem. But GX00, how are you? How are you doing? Are you having a good day? It's already super dark outside. These winter days are super short. Just had a nap, so feeling all right. Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear that. Okay, so let's continue. The ads are over now. Okay, so we've got this. We supposedly have this set of credentials over here that was left in this image, but this is actually a rabbit hole. This is false information. The actual credentials for this user are actually found by using the strings command. So we can use strings, and we can actually specify a number of minimum characters, and then we can use it on image.jpg. And we see here that inside the strings, inside the image here, there's some They're the actual credentials over here. So it's Lisa Gioconda. I'm not sure if this is this sounds like some sort of Italian word. So this is the credential pair that we're going to use to log into the RSH service. And the way we use the RSH service is we're actually going to use a shell version, which is present on Kali Linux. And we just need to do RSH, and then L, and then the username, and then the IP address over here. So after we do that, it's going to ask us for the password. And the password is Gioconda. Let me just grab that from my notes. Paste it in. And now we are logged in. If we ask who we are, it says we are Lisa. So we're in, which means every time we break into a server, we have to put on our scary hacker voice, and we have to do the scary hacker voice speech. So let me demonstrate.
Hey everybody, it's me, Scary Hacker Voice Guy. Scary Hacker Voice Guy comes out every time we break into a server. You fools! You decided that it was okay to put credentials in your image file. Well, you were wrong. You decided to accept that risk. You accepted the risk, and now we're in.
GX00 says, I think this is a voice. yeah, I'm voicing over the scary hacker voice guy. But unfortunately, I forgot to put it into full screen mode. Maybe I'll get that. I'll get that in next time. Simon Dante says, we're in there. Yep, we sure are in there. GX00 says, voice doesn't match the video. What's a dub? It's a dub, so it's kind of like, you know. But anyways, if you didn't recognize that. That was video from the Mr. Robot series, and Mr. Robot is a great little TV series about hacking. If you haven't seen it, definitely do. I think it's if you have Amazon Prime, you should be able to watch it on Prime Video. They've got the whole series up on there. Oh, and one more thing: if you have Amazon Prime, you can subscribe to my Twitch channel for free. And if you want to know how, let me bring that up. Twitch Prime? Or is it just Prime? GX00 says, I've already subscribed. Anyways, I've got some information in there. And what are we doing? So we're in now, so what do we need to do? Well, the first thing we like to do after we break into a server is we like to figure out if the current user has any sudo permissions on the server. And we actually find out that this user does. So it says user Lisa may run the following commands on Mux, the name of the server. As root with no password, they can use user bin tmux. But what is tmux? So we're just going to talk a little bit about what tmux is before we exploit it to elevate our privileges. So this is privilege escalation sudo tmux. Tmux is a terminal multiplexing program which allows users to split a single terminal window into multiple sections. So you might see this advanced users of Linux, they're going to split up their terminal window into multiple sections with the tmux program so that it can have a lot of information going on all the time, and they can switch between the different panes and give different commands. I personally don't do that because it's there's some reasons why I don't use tmux, but it's very useful if you want to be a power user on Linux. Since we have sudo access to the tmux program, we can open a tmux terminal with root access. We simply need to use the command indicated above. So this is very simple. We just do sudo tmux, and then the terminal that is opened up is going to be a root terminal because we're using it with sudo. So let's do that. So over here, we just need to run sudo tmux, and it says here that we are the root user at Mux. If we ask who are we are root, and that means
what are you?
I'm system root.
so we are now the root user on the system, and that means we're very close to finishing today's exercise. So in order to finish the exercise, all we need to do is we need to navigate into the root users directory like this, and then we need to read this flag file over here, which is root.txt. But we're not going to read it in the traditional sense because the organizers over at the VulNyx website have requested that all people doing walkthroughs and videos of their machines not reveal the flag contents. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to read the file but redirect the output into a file called iread root.txt, and then after we do that, we're going to use the md5 sum command to get the file hashes for the root.txt file and the iread root.txt file. Okay, and we see that the file hashes for these two files are both the same, which means they're effectively the same file, which means that we have read the root.txt file and completed the exercise. Thank you very much for watching today's guided walkthrough of the Mux machine from the VulNyx website. If you enjoyed the video, please click on like and subscribe. But until next time, HackerFrogs out. GX00 says, I think this one is also a voiceover. Yeah, that is a voiceover. And I just grabbed the clip from the Batman movie that was from 1989, and I dubbed over it with my own voice. Anyways, we're going to close this connection, and that was a relatively simple box, and we're just going to we've got two other pieces of content for today's stream. We've got, let's see, let me close this out as well. We've got one more day of TryHackMe to go through, and this one, the next day that we're going to be covering here, has to do with Azure. So Azure is Microsoft's cloud computing solution, and Azure mainly has to deal with Active Directory machines up in the cloud. So we're going to be covering that, and then we're going to be covering a new challenge, which I haven't done before, which means we're going to be trying to solve the next challenge, which is this admin machine over here. We're going to be doing this as the last activity for today's stream. So that one should be coming up in about 30 or 40 minutes, because we're going to be solving the latest challenge from TryHackMe's Advent of Cyber first. So this is day 16, but look forward to us doing some free hacking stuff in about 30 or 40 minutes. Okay, so let's get on. Actually, before we do this next activity, I'm just going to take a little sip of water. I do a lot of talking, so I definitely need to have a little bit of water every once in a while. Just a second. Okay, so this is a guided walkthrough for TryHackMe's Advent of Cyber event 2024, and this is day 16. The topic for today is Azure, and the title of the activity is The Wereville's Key Vault Grew 3 Sizes That Day. So let's talk a little bit about what's happening in the story before we solve today's challenge. Another day, another challenge, and unfortunately for McSkitty, another intrusion into their Azure tenant. Before joining McSkitty in her investigation, there's some catching up to do, and this is a story best told in rhyme. As Sockmas approached, so did the need to provide those without with something to read. Careful was tried, they made it their mission, A gift for all wears a Sockmas tradition. McSkitty logged on and felt some confusion, an alert saying here a detected intrusion. Inspection began as to what was at fault. It seems access was gained to McSkitty's key vault. She checked and she checked, as she had to be sure, but it hadn't been long since adopting Azure. Troubleshooting ensued, ideas were that had been tabled, which would have been great if logs were enabled. With 3 hours slept and no records kept, McSkitty then knew what she needed to do. It's true that on her this town does depend, but to find out what's wrong she needed a friend. So clearing her throat and preparing her pitch, she picked up her phone and called up the glitch. It was too late, too late. McSkitty's eyelids felt as they had dumbbells attached to them. The sun had long since waved goodbye to Wareville, and the crisp night air was creeping in through the office of McSkitty's office. If only there was a substance which would both warm and wake her up. Once McSkitty's brain cells had started functioning again, and remembered that coffee existed. Checking her watch, she was saddened to learn that it was too late to get her coffee from her favorite Wareville coffee house, Splunkin' Donuts. The vending machine downstairs would have to do. Sipping her coffee, McSkitty immediately lit up and charged back into the office, ready to crack the case. However, as she entered, the glitch had an idea of his own. He'd got it, and figured out an attack vector the user had likely taken. McSkitty took a seat next to the glitch, and he began to walk it through. Learning objectives. In today's exercise, we're going to learn about Azure, what it is, and why it's used. We're going to learn about Azure services like Azure Key Vault and Microsoft Entra ID. And then we're going to learn about how to interact with an Azure tenant using Azure Cloud Shell. Intro to Azure. Before diving into the glitch's idea of the attacker's path, let's introduce some of the key concepts that will be covered in this process. We are going to start by introducing Azure. To do that, let's consider why McSkitty is using Azure in the first place. It all started when McSkitty's role as cybersecurity expert of Wareville really started to take off. Before she knew it, McSkitty was in very high demand and needed to create all kinds of resources to help her organize her duties. These included a web application to handle appointment making, multiple machines running for investigations, and more machines running for evidence storing and analysis. McSkitty hosted and managed all of these machines herself, that is, on-premises. This initially wasn't a massive issue because, after all, she wasn't a corporation, but just helping the citizens of Wareville with cybersecurity matters. However, as time went on, McSkitty ran into issues during peak times when she would receive many requests for help, and therefore needed to process more evidence. All of this increased demand meant McSkitty had to scale up her resources to handle the load. To put a long story short, this was a lot of hassle for McSkitty. She wished there was a way for someone to handle her infrastructure on her behalf, especially when scaling her resources up during peak times and down when they resumed. That's when Azure came to the rescue. Azure is a CSP cloud service provider, and CSPs, others include Google Cloud and AWS, provide computing resources such as computing power on demand in a highly scalable fashion. In other words, McSkitty could instead have Azure manage her underlying infrastructure, scaling it in times of increased demand and decreasing it once traffic resumed to normal levels. The best bit, McSkitty only has to pay for what she uses. Gone were the days of buying physical infrastructure to handle increased loads, only for that infrastructure to go unused the majority of the time. Azure, and cloud adoption in general, boasts many benefits beyond cost optimization. Azure also gave McSkitty access to loads of cloud services ranging from identity management to data ingestion. Quite frankly, there are more services that can be abbreviated in a sentence, as, at the time of writing, there are over 200. These services can be used to build, deploy, and manage McSkitty's current infrastructure, as well as give her the options to upgrade and build new applications in the future, given the range of services available. A couple of Azure services will come up during Glitch's attack path. Let's take a look at them now. Azure Key Vault. Azure Key Vault is an Azure service that allows users to securely store and access secrets. These secrets can be anything from API keys, certificates, passwords, cryptographic keys, and more. Essentially, anything you want to keep safe, away from the eyes of others, and easily configure and restrict access to what you want to store in an Azure Key Vault. The secrets are stored in vaults, which are created by vault owners. Vault owners have full access and control over the vault, including the ability to enable auditing so a record is kept of who accessed what secrets and granted permissions for other users to access the vault, known as vault consumers. McSkitty uses this service to store secrets related to evidence and has been entrusted to store some of Wareville's town secrets there. Microsoft Entra ID. McSkitty also needed a way to grant users access to our system and be able to secure and organize their access easily, so a Wareville town member could easily access or update their secret. Microsoft Entra ID, formerly known as Azure Active Directory, is Azure's solution. Entra ID is an identity and access management (IAM) service. In short, it has the information needed to access whether a user application can access X resource. In the case of Wareville town members, they made an Entra ID account and McSkitty assigned the appropriate permissions to this account. With that covered, let's see what Glitch has come up with. Assumed breach scenario. Knowing that a potential breach had happened, McSkitty decided to conduct an assumed breach testing within their Azure tenant. The assumed breach scenario is a type of penetration testing setup in which an initial access or foothold is provided, mimicking the scenario in which an attacker has already established its access inside the internal network. In this setup, the mindset is to assess how far an attacker can get once they get inside their network, including all possible attack paths that could branch out from the defined starting point of intrusion. So, in order to start today's exercise, we need to do two things. Is there a direct link available for this exercise? Yes. Am I given credentials to connect directly to the cloud environment? Yes. For this assumed breach testing of Wareville's tenant, McSkitty will provide valid credentials. To get the credentials, click on the Cloud Details button below. Okay, so we've got our cloud details. We need to click on it. And then we need to join the lab. So over here, this window opens up. We need to click on the green Join Lab button over here. So click on that. So after that, this button over here, Lab State, becomes green. It says Joined. Expires in about 1 hour. So we have about 1 hour to complete this today's exercise. And we need to open the lab over here. So we need to click on this Open Lab button here. And that's going to open up a different window, which is going to let us log in. So I'm going to make this a little bit bigger so that we can see. We're essentially trying to log into Microsoft Azure, and we need to get some credentials. So the credentials can be found on the TryHackMe page under the Credentials tab over here. So Credentials, click on that. We've got a username, so we can copy this to our clipboard, this username here that we need to supply. Go back and then paste in the username, and then click on Next. We need to enter the password. To get the password, we need to go back to the TryHackMe page and then copy the password to the clipboard, then go back and paste in the password. Click on Sign In and select Don't Save. It says Action Required. The organization requires additional security information. Follow the prompts. We need to click on Ask Later. Click on Ask Later, this button down here. Stay signed in. Do this to reduce the number of times you were asked to sign in. I guess we can stay signed in. Okay. So from here, what we need to do is we need to click on Cancel. So click on Cancel down here. And what we want to do is we want to start up a console. So in order to start up a console, we just need to click on this button over here. It's at the top of the screen, and there's this button over here that looks like a CLI console. It says Cloud Shell. Go ahead and click on that. And it says, welcome to Azure Cloud Shell. Select Bash or PowerShell. So we're going to select Bash because the commands we're going to be using are Bash commands. So go ahead and click on Bash. It says no valid subscription found. We're going to say X out of that. I think there's a step I'm missing over here. Let me go back to the TryHackMe. So over here we can click out of this. So it says ask later, we did that. Cancel button over here, we did this. The Azure portal may default to your local language, so you have to follow these if you want to switch to English. Okay. So we don't need to. Well, let's mimic this. So portal settings, language, and region. So we're just going to go back to the page. We're going to go to. Let's search for portal settings. Let's search for language. I don't seem to be able to find it. Ronan says we don't need it. Hey, hello, nice to see you here. We're just going through this today's exercise over here, and let's nice to see you here, Ronan. Okay, language and reading. Azure Cloud Shell. Azure Cloud Shell is a browser-based command line interface that provides developers and IP professionals a convenient and powerful way to manage Azure resources. It integrates both Bash and PowerShell environments, allowing users to execute scripts, manage Azure services, and run commands directly from their web browser without needing local installation. Cloud Shell has built-in tools and pre-configured environments, including Azure CLI, Azure PowerShell, and popular development tools, making it an efficient solution for cloud management and automation tasks. Azure CLI. Azure CLI command line interface is a command line tool for managing and configuring Azure resources. The glitch relied heavily on this tool while reviewing the Wareville tenant, so let's use the same one while walking through the Azure attack path. As mentioned above, Azure CLI is a part of the built-in tools inside the Cloud Shell. Let's go back to the Azure portal and launch Azure Cloud Shell by clicking on the terminal icon shown below. Okay, so there's a Cloud Shell here next to the bell. Select Bash. Okay, so to get started, select no storage account required and choose AZ subs AOC for this subscription. Okay, so let's do this. So inside of Azure here, we're going to click on this icon here, up at the top. Then we're going to select the Bash shell. And it says no valid subscriptions found. So I saw the screen that we needed to fill out before that. Let's try that again. So it's not letting me. Okay. So every time I do this, I select PowerShell. No. I select Bash. I need to create an Azure subscription, but yeah. Try opening it in private. Okay. Let's try that. So I'm just going to create an in private window. I think it might be because of it might be because of cookies. So I'm just going to try opening up in. So I'll go back over here, and I'll get the information for. Let's see, cloud details. Okay, we're joined. lab state, open lab over here. I'm gonna see if I can. Don't think I can. Okay, so I'm gonna try opening this in the private window. Right. Okay. So let me grab the credentials one more time. From here, my credentials. This is the account. Need to go to here. Enter the password. I need to get the password. Password. Sign in. Okay. So after that, we're going to click on this button over here. Welcome to the Azure Cloud Shell. We're going to select Bash. And it's going to say no valid subscriptions found again. Okay, so it looks like this is definitely a problem. I'm going to search really quick if there's some sort of solution for this on the TryHackMe forum. If we can't get access to the CLI, then we are not going to be able to. We're not going to be able to do today's task. So I'm just going to launch. I'm going to look for this in Discord. Just a second, everybody. While we're waiting, let me put up a little video so that we're not too bored. So I like this video right here. Yeah, well, I mean, I was able to do it this morning, but maybe there are problems because there are too many people using the same account, and that might have triggered something over on the Azure side. Okay, I don't see. Let's see, the Azure path, let's. Okay, so I'm just looking through the Discord right here. I don't see anybody talking about this problem in particular. Let me try Googling for this problem. Let's see. So let's see. TryHackMe Advent of Cyber, day 16. Problem? Okay. I guess I should include 2024. The problem is I don't see anybody encountering the same problem, so I'm not sure exactly what's going on. Let me try taking a look at the problem one more time. Okay, so over here we're logged into our Azure account. We're trying to use the CLI over here, the Cloud Shell. We want to select Bash, but it says no valid subscriptions found. So let me include this in no valid subscription found. So this just brings us back. I can't click. Well, I don't think I can click fast enough to. Darn it. Okay. So this is the private window. I'm just gonna get out of here. Credentials, environment. Maybe I'll restart the lab and see if that works. Okay, so I'm gonna leave the lab. So not joined. And then I will get out of here. And then I'll try starting it up again. So we're going to go to Cloud Details. We're going to join the lab. Ronin 1 says, yeah, or restart, right? Okay. So we're going to open the lab. I need to get the credentials. Your password or account is incorrect. Okay, we need to use another account. So we're going to paste this in, click on Next. We're just going to ask us for the password. We get the password. We log in. Action required. Ask later. Then what we need to do, okay, welcome to Microsoft Azure. Click on Cancel. We're going to X out of this, and then we're going to click on this button over here, Cloud Shell. We're going to click on Bash. It says Getting Started. Select a subscription to get started. Okay. We're going to select No storage account required over here, and subscription. We're going to select AZ Subs AOC from the list over here, and then we're going to click on Apply. After we do that, we can open up. Our cloud terminal is going to start, and that means we can continue. So we don't need the rest of the web page over here, so we can just make our terminal nice and big. Okay, so your cloud session will be ephemeral, so no files or system changes will persist beyond your current session. That's fine. So the text over here is a bit small. Let me see if I can make this bigger. I can make it bigger. Awesome, awesome. All right. So we're going to continue from here. Sorry for the interruption, everybody, but I think we're back on track. Okay, at this point, we are ready to execute Azure CLI commands on the Azure Cloud Shell. Note that all of the following commands are to be executed in the Azure Cloud Shell. Over here, AZAD signed in user show. This is going to get us information about our current user. Alright, so we're just going to copy this command. We're going to go over to the other terminal window. We're going to paste it in. So this is a little bit wonky, but we want this portion of the command. Okay, hit enter. So it says here that, can I make this a little bit... I think what we can do is we can put this terminal in its own browser pane. So we can click on this button, I think, to maximize it. Okay, alright, this is what we want to do. So just click on that to maximize the window, and then we can see everything now. Alright, so we've got all this information about our current user, and the most important part is the name over here, which is the username that we use to log in. Alright, so what do we do next? You can confirm that credentials worked if the succeeding output renders the authenticated user details, and it's going to look something like this. Going down the Azure rabbit hole. When the glitch got a hold of the initial account in Werebill's Azure tenant, he had no idea what was inside it. So he decided to enumerate first using the existing users and groups within the tenant. Entra ID enumeration. Using the current account, let's start by listing all users on the tenant. So the command might take a while depending on the amount of user accounts available, so feel free to skip it. So we'll try using this command over here to get a list of users. It might be a very large list. If it's a very large list, maybe we'll skip it. So we're going to go back, we're going to copy this command, and then we're going to go back to the terminal here, and we're going to paste it in. And then we're going to hit enter. So it looks like it's working. This might take a little while to come back to us. So we're just going to go over to the TryHackMe page. Yeah, so there's a bunch of different users here. And this is how we return all of them. Great. Let's go back. The Azure CLI typically uses the following command syntax: AZ group subgroup action optional parameters. Given this, the command above can be broken down into target group or service AD, target subgroup user, action list. To see all available commands, you can execute the az-h or azgroup-h commands. After executing the command, you might be overwhelmed with the number of accounts listed. For a better view, let's follow McSkitty's suggestion to only look for the accounts prepended with WV user. According to her, these accounts are more interesting than the other ones. To do this, we will use the filter parameter to filter all the accounts that start with WV user. So let's run this command over here. It's going to filter out all the users unless they have this as the start of their username, WV user. So copy it and then go over to the terminal. I think you can use CLS to clear the screen. Okay. We can use the clear command. So paste in the command here and issue it. So these are a limited number of user accounts. This is WV user McSkitty and WV user Mayor Malware. So there are much less accounts with this username scheme. Okay. You may observe that an unusual parameter was set to a specific account in the output. One of the users, WV user backup where, has its password stored in one of the fields. So backup where. Can we find this one? So let's see. Backup where? This one right here. Okay. So we've got a password over here. So we've got the username, the user account name over here, and we have the password over here. Okay, all right. When the glitch saw this one, he immediately thought it could be the first step taken by the intruder to gain further access inside the tenant. However, he decided to continue the initial reconnaissance of users and groups. Now let's continue by listing the groups. Okay, so this is a command that's going to list out all of the groups inside of the Active Directory over here. So we're just going to copy this and issue the command up here in the terminal. Okay. So we've got a few different groups over here. Actually, we only have one group. What is the name of the group? It says Group for Recovering Wareville's Secrets, and the display name is Secret Recovery Group. So this is the group. You may observe that we just changed the previous command from azad_user_list to azad_group_list. Given the output, we can see a group named Secret Recovery Group exists. This is a kind of interesting group because of the description, so let's follow the white rabbit and list members of the group. Okay. So we can give this command over here to retrieve members of the group. And it looks like there's only this user over here, the backupware user here with the password, and this is their account name. Okay? Given the previous output, it looks like everything makes a little sense now. All of the previous commands seem to point to the WV user backupware account. Since we have seen a potential set of credentials, let's jump to another user by clearing the current Azure CLI account session and logging in with the new account. So what we need to do is we need to log out by using this command here, and we're going to try to log in using the that user that we found with their email and their password. So first of all, we're going to run this action right here to clear the account, and then we're going to log in with this right here. So this command over here, we're going to need to adjust. So we're going to need to provide the email over here and the password. So first of all, we delete the email, and then we copy this email. Actually, we'll copy it with the quotes, because sometimes we need to use quotes in order to copy all this stuff. So, whoops. So in this case, we have to copy with Control-C and not Control-Shift-C. But to paste in, we have to use Control-Shift-C, which is a bit unusual. So for the password, we use this password over here. Okay, after we've done all of that, we can issue the command. And now we are logged in. Okay. Azure role assignments. Since the WV user backupware account belongs to an interesting group, the glitch's first hunch is to see whether sensitive or privileged roles are assigned to the group. And his thoughts were, it doesn't make sense to name it like this if I can't do anything, right, McSkitty? But before checking the assigned roles, let's have a quick run-through of Azure role assignments. Azure role assignments define the resources that each user or group can access. When a new user is created via the Entra ID, it cannot access any resource by default due to a lack of role. To grant access, an administrator must assign a role to let users view or manage a specific resource. The privilege level configured in role ranges from read-only to full control. Additionally, group members can inherit a role when assigned to a group. Returning to the Azure enumeration, Let's see if a role is assigned to the secret recovery group. We'll be using the --all option to list all roles within the Azure subscription, and we'll be using the --assignee option with the group's ID to render only the ones related to our target group. Okay. So we're going to issue this command over here. I have to get the whole command. And then okay, so let's see. So this one is assignee. What is the assignee in this case? So we need to get the information for that group. So we're gonna run this command again. The group list. So the group list over here, and we need to use this ID number right here. So this ID number right here, we need to use it with the command. So first of all, let me paste in the command here. And then with the assignee, we need to use the value for the ID over here for the group, which is the secret recovery group. So copy this ID number, and then we're going to insert it into the assignee over here, paste it in. Okay, after that we will give the command. And what do we see here? Key Vault's secret user. This is one of the role definition name. So this user has been given this this role over here, Key Vault secrets user. Great. Okay. So you may retrieve the group ID from the command executed previously, so we did that. The output seems slightly overwhelming, so let's break it down. First, it can be seen that there are 2 entries in the output, which means 2 roles are assigned to this group. Based on the role definition name field, the 2 roles are Key Vault Reader and Key Vault Secrets User. Both entries have the same scope value, pointing to a Microsoft Key Vault resource, specifically on the Whereville Secrets Vault. Here's the definition of roles based on Microsoft documentation. So the Key Vault Reader is, they read metadata of key vaults and certificates, keys, and secrets. And this role allows you to read metadata of key vaults and its certificates, keys, and secrets. Cannot read sensitive values such as secret contents or key material. But the role Key Vault Secrets User can read secrets contents. Only works for key vaults that use the Azure role-based access control permission model. And this special role allows you to read the contents of a key vault secret. After seeing both of these roles, McSkitty immediately realized everything. This configuration allows the attacker to access the sensitive data they were protecting. Now that she knew this, she asked the glitch to confirm her assumption. Azure Key Vault. Using McSkitty's guidance, the glitch is now tasked to verify if the current account, WV User Backupware, can access the sensitive data. Let's list the accessible key vaults by executing this command below. Okay, so we're going to get the list of the key vaults by using this command. So we've got a key vault over here. The ID is this long string over here. The name of the resource is called Whereville Secrets, and this is a key vault. Okay. The output above confirms the key vault discovered from the role assignments named Whereville Secrets. Now let's see if the secrets are stored in the key vault. Alright, so over here, copy this command, and let's see. So it's going to list the secrets in the vault, where the vault name is equal to whereville secrets. So let's give this command. So there's a name for this secret over here, and it's called AOC 2024. Okay. After executing the previous two commands, we can confirm that the reader role allows us to view the key vault metadata, specifically the list of key vaults and secrets. Now the only thing left to confirm is whether the current user can access the contents of the discovered secret with the key vault secret user role. This can be done by executing the following command. So it's going to be key vault secret show, vault name is whereville secrets, and the name is redacted. So we know what the name of this is, so we're going to copy the rest of the command over here. Then we're going to go over to the console, paste this in, but the name is going to be this one over here, AOC 2024. AOC 2024. And then hit enter. Okay, so the secret value is where is my mind 1999. Interesting. Okay. Bingo! The glitch exclaimed as he saw the output above. McSkitty had confirmed her nightmare that a regular user could escalate their way into the secrets of Whereville. With that, the glitch helped McSkitty to find the attack path that had been taken to escalate a user's privileges, and a lot had been learned in the process. The only question that remained was who had initially carried out the attack in the first place. There was a very limited set of wares who had access to this tenant, and with user visibility, and with that set of permissions, only town officials who perform governance validation on the tenant to ensure all the town secrets are being stored securely. The focus then turns to the motive. The only thing accessed was the access key stored in the key vault, which grants access to the evidence file stored elsewhere. The evidence in this file was in relation to the recent cyber events this month in Whereville. We'll have to keep our eyes peeled in the following days to get to the bottom of this. Okay, so all we need to do to finish this exercise is to answer these questions. What was the password for backupware that was leaked? So the password for backupware that was leaked, let me see if I can... So we can see the password for backupware in this initial command here. It was the one that listed out the Whereville members. And it was this one over here. So this command over here lists out all of the users for Whereville. When we give this command, we scroll up and we see that the password is this one over here for Whereville user backupware, recover secrets. This is the password. So just copy this, then go over to the TryHackMe question, submit this. Okay, what is this? What is the group ID of the secret recovery group? So there's a secret recovery group. We go back here and the command that we use is we get the groups. So AZAD group list. So this is the command we need to use. So group for recovering Whereville secrets, secret recovery group. We need to get the ID. So the ID is this right here. So we just need to copy this ID value. Then paste in the value, click on submit. Okay. What is the name of the secret vault? So the name of the secret vault, of course, we need to get the value of the secret vault with this command. So AZ key vault secret list, vault name where Vil secrets, and we see that the name of the secret vault is AOC 2024. So we can just remember this. AOC 2024. Click on submit. What are the contents of the secret stored in the vault? Okay. So to get this, the last command that we did before we finished the exercise was this command over here. So AZ key vault secret show, vault name where Vil secrets, name AOC 2024, and when we give this command, we see that the value of the secret is where is my mine 1999. So just copy this and then paste this in and click on submit. Alright, so the only thing left to do is to finish this day's task by clicking on this button over here. So like today's task, check the exploiting Active Directory room to practice user and group enumeration in a similar yet different environment. Okay, great. So all we need to do is click on the button and we've completed today's task. All right, everybody. So we just finished this task, which was day number 16 from TryHackMe's Advent of Cyber 2024 event. If you enjoyed this walkthrough, please click on the like and subscribe buttons on this video. But until next time, HackerFrogs out. Alright, so we've got ads coming up in just a few seconds. So as usual, I'm not going to do anything super special while the ads are running. And we're just going to, for everybody else who's watching on YouTube, we're just going to take a little break and watch some birds eating some stuff. Let's see. How about this video? So please enjoy the birds at the bird feeder. I'm just going to take a little sip of water while the ads run on Twitch. Just a second. All right, so we've got another minute of ads. So we're just going to hang tight. If anybody is, if you're enjoying the stream, let us know in the chat. We're going to be moving into our free hacking portion of the stream in just a minute or so. But we've got a new redeem that I just added today. This is for the Nyan cat. And well, if anybody remembers this meme, please type Nyan in the Nyan in the chat when you see it. Okay, so let's put the birds away because we're going to be starting the last part of today's stream. And in this last part of today's stream, we're going to be doing some hacking against another box, and this time it's going to be a challenge exercise where we're going to try to successfully hack into a Windows box. I think this is a Windows 10 box, in fact. So first of all, let's start up the machine. So this is the admin challenge from VulNyx. Femyak1 says nyan.cat. Yep, that's the link. If you want to do infinite nyan-cat, you can certainly go over there. But yeah, I'm kind of disappointed that the people from nyan-cat decided to turn nyan-cat into an NFT, because it seems a bit, it doesn't feel too great. But but if they own NyanCat, they can do whatever the heck they want with it. So another fun thing about this box that we're going to be hacking against here is that it seems to be... Is this French or is this Spanish? I think this is Spanish, right? Let me look this up real quick. So translate .google.com. Yeah, okay. So this box is in Spanish. So when we arrive on the box, if we do arrive on the box, we're going to be dealing with a Spanish installation of Windows 10. Great. Okay. So first of all, what I need to do is... Oh, all my windows disappeared. I need to get all my windows back. Okay. So the first thing we need to do is we need to locate the machine on the network. And in order to do so... Oh, my chat disappeared as well. Hold on. Okay. So in order to locate the machine on the network, the most reliable way to find Windows machines on the network is to use this tool right here. It's called ARPScan. And ARPScan is going to locate the machine on the network according to using ARP packets instead of ping packets. So this is more reliable for finding Windows machines because Windows machines sometimes don't respond to ping packets. We need to specify interface. We need to supply an address range over here, and we need to give this command with sudo. So it's going to identify that the machine is at this address right over here, and this is the address that we're going to be hacking against. So without further ado, let's do just that. I'm just going to copy this so that I have it for a reference. So we're going to go over to another tab, and we're going to use our Nmap program. So the Nmap program over here is going to discover what ports exist on this particular IP address. We run it with a bunch of different arguments. So we run it very verbose with 4 threads against all ports and doing software version information and scripting. So we run the Nmap command, and we discover very quickly that all of the usual Windows ports are open. So usual Windows ports in this case include 445, 139, 135, and a bunch of ports on the 40,000 range. These are all ports associated with regular Windows services. So there's also port 80 associated with this box, so we need to do some web server enumeration as well. And let's, so while the scan is running over here, let's do a little bit of enumeration of another service. So first of all, we can go over to the web page, just find out what's going on over there, and we can go over to the IP address and... Okay, so this looks like a default page for the Windows web server. The default Windows web the Windows web server is called Internet Information Services, otherwise known as IIS, and you actually don't see Windows web servers as often as you would expect, especially considering that that Windows is the most common OS in the world. Most of the time, when you see web servers, they're usually running Linux. But anyways, let's do some further enumeration of this website. We're going to use the nicto command, and the nicto command is this is a web app vulnerability scanner. If there are any common vulnerabilities that are disclosed, that are present on this particular web server, then the nicto tool is going to be able to find them. But a lot of the time, nicto doesn't find anything, but it sometimes finds very low-hanging fruit vulnerabilities, which is very useful for us sometimes. So that's why I like to run nicto. So we see this is a Microsoft IIS server. It is version 10.0. So the versions are usually associated with the versions of Windows that they're associated with. So we can pretty safely assume that this is a Windows 10 operating system that we're dealing with. Okay, so aside from this, we can also do a quick directory busting attempt with the derb tool. And the derb tool has a lot of interesting things on its word list, so that's why I like to run it whenever I do web server enumeration as well. But derb is not super powerful. The preferred tool that I like to use these days is the GoBuster tool. And GoBuster is a more powerful web app fuzzing program. And web app fuzzing basically is trying to find out if certain endpoints or files exist on a server by testing against them. We have a very large list of common directory names over here, and we're going to be using all these directory names to test whether or not these endpoints exist on the server. So we're also going to run it against a bunch of these different file extensions. So if these files extensions exist on the server, we'll also be able to tell by using the GoBuster program here. The only problem is that each one of these file extensions that we try to scan for is going to increase the time that the scan takes by about 100%, which means if we run with these 2, 3, 4, 5 extensions, it's going to take 500% longer than it would usually take. But when you have to know, you have to know. We're going to run the scan, and we're going to see if there are any subdirectories or any suspicious, well, if there are any particular files that exist on this system over here. So text, back, zip, HTML, PHP files. We see this tasks.txt file has been discovered, so we should probably go and investigate that. So let's go back to the web page, and on the web page we're going to go to the endpoint tasks.txt. So what do we got here? Pending tasks. So these are tasks that have not been done yet. So finish website, update OS, drink coffee, rest, change password by Hope. So Hope is the name of a user, so we could probably use this in our enumeration attempts. We know that they haven't changed their password, so they might have a we might be able to access the system by brute forcing Hope's password. There might be a critical update that has not been patched due to the presence of this over here. VulNyx says drink coffee is the best. I think this is the best. This is the best thing you want to do before you do all the other tasks, because it's the easiest one to do. Well, rest is probably easy as well. So let's try to brute force this Hope user's password. So what we're going to do is, okay, well this is the same thing. We're going to go over to another tab, and we're going to try to enumerate using the SMB service. And the best tool for that is enum for Linux. Actually, no, not enum for Linux. We're going to use netexec. So netexec is an all-in-one tool for doing Windows pen testing stuff. So we can use it to enumerate SMB and WinRM and even SSH if we really wanted to. What we're going to do with this tool is we're going to try to brute force the password for the Hope user. So we know the user's name is Hope, and we're going to supply a password list, and it's going to be user share word lists rocku.txt. And what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to see if Hope is using some common password on the rocku.txt list. The rocku.txt list is a list of 11 million of the most common user passwords. So it's a very common list when people try to do brute force enumeration. So we're going to try to brute force the Hope user's password via SMB on this server. So let's go ahead and try that. Okay, so when we run this command, we need to use this flag right here, ignore pw decoding. Okay, let's try that one more time. So this is going to try logging in with all of these different passwords, and this might take a really long time, so we're just going to leave this ooh, that did not take a very long time. Okay, so we're able to determine that the hope user is using this loser password over here. Kind of ironic, I guess. Anyways, let's figure out if this hope user has access to any file shares. So the hope user here, we know that their password is loser, so let's figure out what file shares that they have access to with this command over here. Okay, so they don't have any, there are no real file shares to enumerate here. The next thing we need to figure out is if this user has access to WinRM, and actually, wait, I need to figure out if there's WinRM available on the box in the first place. So the nmap command over here, so these are all the ports that are open over here. Port 7680 is unusual, so I might check this out later if I run out of things to look at. But we see that WinRM is available on this box. It is this port right here, 5985, and this is a admin-only kind of login CLI. And if we find a user with WinRM permissions, we would be able to log into the server by using WinRM. But aside from that, we've got all of our... everything else is not unusual. So what we're going to do is we're going to figure out if this hope user has access to WinRM. So we can do that by using netexec with this command over here. Oh, they do! That was very quick. This, I didn't expect to be able to get into the server this quickly. Okay, so we can access WinRM as the hope user on this machine. Great. So the next step is to log in to the server as the hope user. So in order to do so, we're going to use this tool called Evil WinRM, and it's essentially a type of we can get shell access by using this tool. So this is hope. Their password is loser. Okay, and all right, let's get in there. If we ask who am I, it says we are the admin hope user. All right, which means we've successfully broken into the server, which means we have to put on our scary hacker voice. Hold on. Yuck1 says, do you usually keep notes of things to check later? Well, I usually go by instinct most of the time when I do these CTF boxes, but I do keep notes. So I do keep notes when I'm doing them off stream. Actually, I've got some notes over here. I might keep some notes for later, but first of all, we have to do our ritual. So the ritual is to put on the scary hacker voice video and then do the scary hacker voice.
Hey everybody, it's Scary Hacker Voice Guy. Scary Hacker Voice Guy comes on every time we break into the server. You fools! You decided to put up a notice on your website that says what your username is, and then you kept your user password as something that's inside the rocku.txt file. That was very dumb. You decided to accept the risk, and now we're in.
All right, we're done. No, we're not done. We're not done. Okay, we need to figure out what to do from here. We've broken into the server. We did our ritual where we impersonated Scary Hacker Voice Guy, and now we need to figure out what privileges this user has. So who am I /priv? Okay. Shutdown privilege, change notify privilege, undock privilege, increase working set privilege, set time zone privilege. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to feed this all to ChatGPT and see if we can escalate our privileges by using these ones over here. I'm not very used to hacking Windows targets, so I'm going to need some help. Based on these Windows user privs, we escalate privileges. Bam, feed this. Cybernerd Dante says, luckily descriptions are in Spanish. Well, I mean, that's what we can translate Spanish by using all sorts of different things. Okay, so none of the privileges listed directly allow you to escalate your privileges to administrator or system level. So, okay. Ronan says, oh, we got in fast, I missed it, but nice new root video. Yeah. I decided, to anybody who doesn't know, now when I do Scary Hacker Voice Guy, I have to put on my my video, and the video is going to look like this while I do Scary Hacker Voice. But it's just, you know, something that we do for fun. Anyways, yeah, we managed to get in because it was just a user left their note up on the web server, and then once we had the username, we brute forced the password, and we found out that the user was a WinRM user. So from here, we need to figure out. So the problem is this is a Windows 10 system. We know this is a Windows 10 system, and that means that we're gonna have to deal with Windows Defender. So Windows Defender is probably going to. Actually, I think there's a function on Evil WinRM that's called bypass ASMI. Let's see if this works. Oh, what is the command called? I need to look it up real quick. Evil WinRM bypass. What is the command called? bypass-4MSI. Okay. Let's try that. Did I spell that incorrectly? 4MSMI. Let me just copy that. Okay. So if this works, it's going to disable AMSI, which is going to be okay, so we did it. So hopefully this means that we can run all of our malicious scripts and all of our malicious programs. So let's upload WinPeas, and WinPeas is a privilege escalation checking script. First of all, we need to figure out. So it's very unlikely that this system is running a 32-bit system, but just in case, we need to check. Is it sysinfo? Like this? System info. Okay, one of you probably knows what the actual command is. System, what is the system information command? But anyways, well, I guess we don't need to check on it. Let's clear CLS. Huh, we can't clear screen. Weird. Okay. From here, let's locate a WinPeas binary. So the WinPeas binary is over here. System info. Yeah, well, if I did it right, why didn't it work? Weird. Okay, so latest information, all the scripts and binaries in the releases page. So we've got WinPeas 64, any. WinPeas any is usually the one that works, so I'm just going to copy the link, and then in the directory, let's download it. Okay. So from here, we can upload it to the target by using VulWinRM. So we're the hope user, so we should be able to write files to this directory. There's nothing in this directory, but let's upload. What is it called? WinPeasAny.exe. Hopefully it doesn't get deleted upon arriving on the disk, because that'd be kind of sad. Man, this is a bit slow. Okay, so all right, so let's see if it. So it's here. It's here. Let's try running the command. Oh, there's no tab autocomplete on this. Sad. Okay, awesome. So we got it to run. So we've got our peas icon over here. We need to look for red and indicates a special privilege over an object or something that is misconfigured. So we're looking for red, and we're looking for. Are we only looking for red? This is the color scheme is a bit different from LinPeas. Okay, so we're just looking for red. System information, okay. What? Computer name admin, okay. Username. Lapse not installed. Credential card not enabled. No AV was detected. Okay, that's great. UIC status. If you're in the administrators group, check how to bypass the UIC. Consent prompt behavior admin 0. No prompting. So this is. I probably want to keep track of this and see if this is a privilege escalation vector. So let me just add this to my notes. So we've got our PowerShell setting. Oh, so we could also try looking at the PowerShell history or the command history. Let me put that in my notes. So PowerShell history, command history. Okay. Authenticated users. Remember that you should search more info inside other drives. So we've got C drive and D drive, but D drive is a CD-ROM drive, so we probably. Permissions, authenticated users, append data, create directories. So do we have. Could we access the flag directly right now? We need to figure out if this is supposed to be some sort of admin user that we're running as right now. Okay, so I need to check the admin directory cribs. Okay, so let's see. Everyone write data, create files. This doesn't seem very secure. Printing explicit credential events. You must be an administrator to run this check. Okay, so I guess I'm not an administrator because I wasn't able to do these checks over here. Current user. So this is not Azure joined, AD joined. Okay, so we can't use AD Active Directory techniques because this is not an AD joined machine. Okay, so we have an administrator user. We've got a default account user. We have a hope user. That is our user. There's a guest user, invitado, I'm guessing. There's the utility account. Okay. Home folders found. So we have all access for this folder right here because we are this user. Okay, go through all of here. Auto run applications. What is this? Registry path. Okay, this is another one of these unquoted unquoted service paths. So I actually did one of these recently. So it was a machine called Unquoted. Okay, we've got ads running on Twitch right now, so I guess we're going to pause for a little bit and we're going to watch some birds. Just a second. So we're just going to wait a minute and take a little break while the ads are running on Twitch. So let me take this chance to have a little sip of water. Just a second. Okay, we'll be back in just about 10 seconds or so. Okay, and we're back. All right. So everybody, let's see. So I think we found our privilege escalation vector over here because we've got an unquoted service path for this over here. So MS Edge. Ronan says, I don't think the edge path is the right way because even if it works, you need to win restart. I think we might be able to restart the service. We have restart privileges on the system. So when we checked the user privileges, we were able to restart with this user. So I think this might be the intended path. But so MS Edge. So unquoted and space detected. So this is C, right? Is it a service? Well, we need to figure this out. So the registry path is I've got full control over... I think I can write to C. If I can write this, let me just put this in my notes. Okay, so we'll check this a little bit later. There might be some other stuff in here, but if I don't see any other juicy finds, I might pursue this. So I got path injection. Path injection? So this is unquoted in space detected. So these are all services, right? Auto run applications. Oh, okay. So we could potentially do path injection here. And for all of these other commands and libraries here. There's a lot of them. Oh, we've got another one for unquoted in space detected. So Internet Explorer over here. Let's see, run in one says it will auto run on next restart. Right. So like I said, I think I have restart permissions on the box as my current user. So if that's the case, then it's not that's not really that much of a problem. Let's keep on going. What is this? Folder perms, authenticated users, append data, create directories. Seems that there are a lot of different weird little cases I can investigate here. Unquoted in space detected again over here. But maybe we don't necessarily have access to this to these directories. Man, there's a lot of these. Okay, so let's see. Potentially sensitive file content in desktop.ini. Unquoted in space detected in this over here. Okay, so I think everything is pointing towards some sort of unquoted service path hijacking. Let's see. Hidden files or folders in C user's home. Okay. Okay, so I think the first thing that showed up in the list might be what we want to pursue. So I'm just going to check with I'm going to check with ChatGPT and see what it thinks. I think I can escalate privileges on this CTF Windows box with this finding from the WinPeas program. Okay. Yes, you can escalate privileges with this finding. Let's break it down. Okay, so the registry path is this. Runs programs automatically when the user logs in. Permissions, hope, full control. The hope user has full control over this key, meaning that you can modify it or replace the registry entry. No executable path is MS Edge. This is unquoted and there's a space in the path, program files. So C program files. This path to MS Edge is unquoted and it contains spaces. When Windows tries to execute this command, it will interpret it as follows: program.exe. So it'll check for an executable name program.exe in C first. If program.exe doesn't exist, it moves to programfiles.exe and then programfiles msedge.exe. So what I need to find out is whether or not we can write to the C drive, the C root folder. So by placing a malicious program file in C, you can hijack the execution flow. Create a malicious executable. Okay. Use the example in MSFNM to create a reverse shell. All right. So first of all, we need to figure out if we can write to the C drive. So first of all, we need to go into the C drive. So right over here. And we need to figure out if we can write a file. So I'm going to echo testing 1, 2, 3, and we're going to output that to test.txt. Okay, so we can't write this file to C. So next we need to figure out if we can access another folder, and the next folder would be it moves to programfiles.exe and then this right over here. So by placing Can we create directories in here? Let me try what PowerShell command is going to be let me create directories. Let's see. PowerShell create directory. Hold on. Actually, maybe I can just use the old-fashioned Windows shell command. Windows cmd create directory. Okay, to create a directory in MS-DOS or Windows command prompt, you can use the md or make dir MS-DOS command. You don't need directions, just the program.exe. So I can't write to the C drive directly. So I'm in the C drive right now. I can't. So I tried creating a little file over here, but I wasn't able to write to. Can you write files to users hope? So what we need to do is we need to inject our executable in the path in between. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a directory called let's see. Program. So I'm going to see if I can create a file directory called program. Okay. So I created a directory called program. So if I can write a file to this program directory, then maybe I can hijack that path. So I'm going to go into the program directory. And I can probably write a file here. So I can echo testing 1, 2, 3 to test.txt. So yeah, I can write to this directory. So if I can write to this directory, then I can do my path hijacking. Because first it looks in, where is it? So it'll interpret it as follows. So it's C program.exe, but I can't write in C. So if program.exe doesn't exist, then it moves over to programfiles.exe. So we created a directory called program, so we can create a file called files.exe to hijack this. So let's do that. We can use MSF Venom over here. So it's going to be here in my Kali terminal. Windows shell reverse TCP. Ronan says I think it needs to be after the backslash, not after the space. Where are we? So there's spaces and it's unquoted. So it's going to look in C program. So it's going to look for program.exe. If program.exe doesn't exist, it's going to do program files.exe. So program is going to be a separate directory, and it's going to look for files.exe. And then the final destination is program files x86 Microsoft Edge application msedge.exe. I don't think I can write inside that directory. So, but you know what? I could try looking. I could see if I can actually write to this application directory. So let's try that out. So let's go to oh, this doesn't work because we need to quote it off. Okay. So right. So now we're in the application directory here. This is the legitimate file, msedge.exe. So let's see if we can write anything in here. I don't think we can. Let's see, echo test 2.3 test.txt. So yeah, we don't have permissions in here, but we did have permissions to create directories inside of any of these, and inside of anything, anywhere inside the file system. So I think we should be able to create a file inside of the C directory called, wait, called program here, and we should be able to put our malicious file in here. If it doesn't work, then we can go ahead and program files.exe, not program files.exe. Okay, let me take a look. Program files.exe. Well, I mean, if that's the case, that means we can't do hijacking here. let's take a look at the other findings. Unquoted and spaced. We also found this one over here. I'll just paste it in the chat. This one might actually be better. Let's get out of there. What about this finding from Windows? Okay, so let's see. Executable path. This path is unquoted and contains spaces, program files. So when Windows tries to execute this command, iexplore.exe, it checks for the file first in the root of C. If not found, it proceeds to programfiles.exe. If it's a known exe, it's most likely not going to work. So we can hijack it a few different. We can hijack in C. We can also try hijacking in program files, but I don't know if we can if we can write anything inside of program files. So let's try moving into the program files directory. No, we can't write to here. So this is probably off the table as well. Okay, so what else could we look for? There was also this one. Okay, this finding also indicates an unquoted service path or vulnerability. In this case, it involves a DLL file in an Edge's browser directory. Okay, so we've got this DLL file over here. Unquoted path detected. Great. It's Edge, so it's probably the same. So okay, so C program files, Microsoft Edge application. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that doesn't work. If we could write to C, then we'd be able to do all this stuff. But we can't write to C. But maybe if we were able to get access to another account that had better permissions, we might be able to do it. But for right now, maybe not. Okay, so let's check. So obviously we don't have access to the default app pool. Yeah, we can't read anything in the administrator directory. Otherwise, that would be a little bit too easy. So if we could do some, if we could move over to another user, maybe, because there's a web server. So there's the web server is an inet pub www root, and there's nothing in here. If this is running, we might be able to get access as another user if we were to put some sort of reverse shell script in this directory here, and then access it and then activate it from the web. I don't know if it's worth it setting this up, but you know, we're just playing around right now. I didn't see anything else that we should be looking at. I should probably look at the PowerShell history and the command history. So this was mentioned earlier in where is a Windows systems terminal history and PowerShell history stored. Okay, CMD command prompt history is not stored. It's stored in memory and lost when the session is closed. If persistent history is required, you must use manual redirect commands, third-party tutorials. PowerShell stores its history in a file called under the user profile directory. Okay, so we might be able to get the console history for this current user that we're using right now by looking at this file. And in PowerShell, to just create the current session history, so I'm not looking for Windows terminal. Okay, so let's try looking. Okay, so it would be, let's see, C users hope, like this. What is this? Name administrator, password, super, no, what? No, really? What? Oh, well, okay, let's check if this is actually the password. What the hell? What the hell? Yolando Pico, hello! Welcome to the stream. Let's give you a fun little video redeem hack. We haven't done Hack the Planet today.
Hack the planet! Hack the planet! Shut up again!
Alright, well, if this is actually the administrator password, then we finished. Let's check it out. Okay, so let's hack the planet. Let's try some netexec, and let's see if we can use administrator and the password we just captured. Okay, alright, and can we win RM? as that user. All right, so we did it. We did it, everybody. It wasn't whatever we were looking for. Bazinga! Yeah, exactly. So all we need to do is we need to log in as the administrator user using evil WinRM. So let's get out of here. And this time we're going to use this over here. Administrator. Who am I? We are administrator, so let's give this redeem right here.
What are you?
I'm system root.
All right, so let's go into the administrator directory and see exactly we can access the desktop. Okay, we've got it. There's the root.txt file right here. We finished the box. I guess I could ham it up and put on my scary hacker voice guy. Hold on, let me do that. Hold on, let's do this after the break. So there are ads coming in just a second, and I'm just gonna wait for the ads to pass on Twitch before I finish the box. So in the meantime, we can watch the birds, and so if you haven't seen this video before, this is the video where the bully bird comes from, and let's just bully bird. So this. So we've got ads running on Twitch right now, so we're going to wait about a minute before we finish the box. But in the meantime, here's the infamous bird feeder clip where the bird gets bullied. And I think I can also provide the audio for this as well. Let me hook up the audio for this. Ronan redeemed. Hi, I'm new. Welcome to the stream, Ronan, because you are new. What was it? Bully bird. Where is the Huh, I can't connect this to the to my player. VLC, right? This is VLC. That's sad. Okay, anyways. All right, so let's ham it up. Let's put on the Mr. Hacker Voice guy. So, okay, what happened? So we were able to get access to the administrator's secret password because the Hope user, we got access to the Hope user's PowerShell command history, and inside the command history, they included the administrator's password. So I need to do Scary Hacker Voice guy. Hey guys, it's Scary Hacker Voice. Ronan says that there need more rewards. I have too many hacker bites. I'll be adding the more hacker bites in the future, but first I need to do Scary Hacker Voice guy. You fools! You thought that you would be able to use shoddy credentials for your SMB users and then put your administrator credentials inside of the PowerShell history and not erase it. You accepted the risk, And now, we're administrator. Alright.
Mr. Hat, may I please be excused from class?
Well, Kyle,
Yes.
you hear me? You go to
Hack.
You go to
Hack.
you
Have a great day.
Have a great day, Femyuk1. Thank you very much. Alright, so we finished the exercise. We became the administrator user, and we logged in using Evil WinRM, and we have access to the root.txt file. Of course, the people at VulNyx have asked us not to read the contents of this file, so we're just going to output this to a file called iRead root.txt. Okay, so we've got two files, and we were able to access root.txt to create this file, which essentially means we read it. So we finished the exercise. All right, thank you very much for watching. All right, so I'll probably be taking notes on how we finish. I also need to add more emotes because I've got personalized emotes on this channel. I really need to create some emotes for. Maybe I can create some emotes for breaking in, maybe some hoodies, some evil hoodie frogs. Dunno, but yeah, I need to do more development for the stream to make it a more fun environment for everybody to hang out in. But yeah, that's the final content for today's stream. So we're going to be finishing out in just a little bit, but first of all, let's see if we can find some fun InfoSec streamers to raid. We've got Kirasek. So Kirasek is another InfoSec streamer on Twitch, and I'll probably be sending you over to that person's channel in just a bit. Let's see what they're doing right now. But thank you for trying out the emotes, Ronan. Let's see what they are up to. So it's OSCP Monday. So I guess Kirasek is trying for the OSCP. All right. Femyuk is also trying out the HackerFrogs emote. Sabrina Dante says, "Great stream, man. Have the goodest night." Well, let's take a look at what Kirasek is doing. Hopefully, they're working on something fun. Today's Monday, so we got more stuff going on. It looks like, what are they doing here? They're trying to crack some hashes over here. Looks like a fun time. And he's got his inspirational message over here. Try harder. That's a very OSCP kind of mindset. All right, so we're gonna be back on Wednesday. Wednesday at the same time. We'll also be on Friday at the same time. We're gonna be doing more walkthroughs, more TryHackMe Advent of Cyber, and more Windows hacking against systems over in VulNyx. That's what we're going to be doing this week. So let's, when you arrive on the raid from on Kirasek's channel, please give him this message over here, the raid message, hip hop hack with the OS frog, like this. All right, I'm going to set up the raid, but before that, let's do one last hack the planet.
Hack the planet! Hack the planet!
Shut up and get in.
All right, everybody, and but until next time, remember Nyan Cat.